As you guys know, while I was working on my car the other day, the Project 955, trying to change the valve cover gasket, I noticed that the passenger side valve cover was cracked. It is plastic anyways, but the previous owner probably tried to get it fixed, or the mechanic, and they cracked it. So rather than just trying to glue it up and all that good stuff, which actually failed, I decided to buy a new one. And I got this from Pat's Geek. So Pat's, not Geek, Pat's Geek. That's where I got this from. And so my car has been sitting for like a day while I wait for this. I think it took like 2 days, not a day. So it's been sitting for 2 days without this. I just had to cover it up with a bag, which you'll see a video of next. So now that it's here, I'm pretty excited about this. So I'm gonna try to get it installed. So it came with all the gaskets pre-installed. So at least that takes away that part of the job for me. I already have the gasket here that I bought originally to do the job. So I'm just gonna keep that because I haven't done the driver's side just yet because it's not leaking that bad. And after I cleaned it out, I noticed there wasn't leaks. So I figured I'm just gonna keep it here. If it ever does leak, which I think it will, because I don't know how long it's been there, I'll just use it. But it comes pre-installed with all the gaskets and everything. So I just need to get this back installed on the car. And so it's simple. We already saw how to unscrew this off of the car. So all I have to do now is put it right back. So you'll see a couple of videos of me doing that, but it's basically a straightforward process. You can get it off, as you all have seen. So let's go do this. So the first thing you want to do, guys, is put high temperature gasket maker on the edges of the cover, right? So that's what I was doing right here. I put just high temperature silicone, just on the edges, like in the four corners, just to make sure nothing leaks out of the gasket. I don't think it's necessary, but it's nice to have. Here I was just putting back the valve cover itself. You might want to pull up all the cables, and it wasn't a difficult process, but you do have to pay attention to read. It was kind of tricky, but it's simple, nothing serious. And then right after I had this inserted the correct way, as you can tell, there was something holding it in the back that I didn't see at the time, so I just had to move the cable a notch and then lift it up. Yeah, I think that's what I did here, and just push it back, and it just sit perfect, flush. And you want to be careful with the cables though, because as old as this car is, you can crack those hoses in the back. So right after you have the cover put in, you want to insert your ignition coils just to hold it in place, so all the holes that your screws go into align. Make sure everything align. It's important that you do this before you start screwing stuff down. It just makes your job a whole lot easier, and right after that, yeah, I think I was plugging. So I did change the ignition coil for 1 and 3 because they were actually misfiring. So I had those changed while I was doing this. So that screw, what you're looking at right now, is a screw in like the lower left corner. It is a nightmare to get off in this, just as it is a nightmare to actually put it back in. But that small wrench that I was talking about that I ordered on Amazon kind of helped. It wasn't all too easy, but it helped a lot. It's better than using anything else. I fought with this for a minute. As you can tell, I'm still fighting with that side of the valve cover gasket. It is a nightmare. Like that whole left side of the engine, there isn't enough room to do anything in there. So as for me, my hands are kind of small, so I was able to do a little bit. Still battling with the screws. So I think there was about 11 or 12 screws that I had to put back to hold down the valve cover. I mean, the ones on the lower part of the lower half of the valve cover was they were also difficult to get in. I don't know for like why Porsche makes these things so difficult to get to. I wonder how they do it themselves. But I guess with the right set of tools, you can actually achieve um, this the goal in a short time span. But it was a nightmare to put back the screws. Now I know exactly why it costs so much to um, to get a shop to do this job for you. But if you have done an oil change or anything similar to that, it'll come right to you. Like it's not the easiest of jobs, but you can do it. You know. So here basically I was trying to put back all the covers and the hoses. This exact cover, it has two little rings inside of it, so you want to make sure, and you'll see where it attaches to the cover. You want to make sure those rings are actually in there, and then you just push it down. Without the ring, it's not going to sit flush, it's not going to sit properly, so you really don't want to lose that. And then you put back the hose that we took off initially. You just need to compress both ends, and it'll just like slide in. Um, right after that, what I try to do is put back the I think this is some kind of a bracket that holds the engine to the chassis of the body. As you can see right on top of my palm right there. If you watch the first video of me taking this thing apart, you will know exactly why or what this bracket does. You know, so um, I had to fight with it for a minute because for some reason I totally forgot how I took it out, but I figured it out in like a short time span. I figured it out. Um, it's straightforward. Just that one side of it is longer and the other side is shorter, so it can only fit in one way once you put it right. You know. And right after that, I started tightening things down. Um, the brackets. One little tip: you might want to put the ignition coil screws first before you install the bracket, because the covers actually go right up on top of it. You know, so that's what I try to do here. I basically started putting back the ignition coil screws. You know, installing all of them and making sure everything is tight down. At this point, you pretty much get the picture of what's going on here. So it's the exact reverse of everything we did trying to take this whole thing apart, right? You if you did take it apart yourself, you'll find that it's a lot straightforward to put it back together. For me, I did lose, or rather, I did forget certain things, or the order that I actually took them out. So I had to pause, think it through, like, oh, okay, and then put it back together and all that good stuff. So from here out, you'll see it's basically putting the whole car together until the end of the video. So I'll let you guys watch it. If you have any question or for me, or any challenge you run into and you feel like I can provide any updates, please leave a comment and I will respond to it based on my experience from doing this. Like I say, I'm not a mechanic, but I did get the job done and fired up the car and everything checked out. You know, I still have a check engine light. There are some other things that I need to start fixing one at a time. I believe this was the biggest one because the car it wouldn't idle right. You start it up, it'll shoot all the way to like 12,000 RPMs, and then slowly it's gonna like calm down until it dies. So I figured this was the first thing I needed to do, and right after this, I fired it up and it pretty much idled at like 6-7,000 RPM. But there are still other issues that I'm gonna walk through one at a time. But yeah, so let me know if you have any issues. Enjoy the rest of the videos, and thanks for watching.